Hello everyone, good evening, and we will get started now. It's 5:30. Sham, are we good to go on the live, YouTube live?
Yes, sir. The live
Okay.
streaming is on.
Sorry?
The live streaming has been started.
Okay, great. Yeah, please go ahead and start, Sham.
So, all, welcome to the first live session for this semester for the course Design Thinking, a primer offered by Dr. Bala Ramadurai and Dr. Ashwin Mahalingam. Here we have with us Dr. Bala. He is an author, coach, consultant, and a professor. Currently, he is an adjunct professor at the Symbiosis Institute of Management, Pune. He is also a guest faculty at IIT Madras, offering courses on design thinking as well as technology forecasting. He is also a visiting professor at Universidad Panamericana, Mexico. I hope I am pronouncing that right. Also, he has authored a book on design thinking called Karmic Design Thinking. He has three patents to his credit. He has done his PhD from Arizona State University, USA, and he holds a BTech from IIT Madras. Here is the book that I was referring to. The title is Karmic Design Thinking by Dr. Bala Ramadurai. The link to this book is available on the course page. You may either purchase it on Amazon or Amazon ebook Kindle version and Flipkart. And a very important announcement regarding this. Uh, the ebook version will be sold at a discounted price as mentioned in the slide here, and which runs on August 31, 2024. Over to you, Bala.
Okay, thank you, Sham. Thank you for bringing this to covering a whole bunch of information. Yes, I'm very, very happy to be here with all of you. Online it has its advantages that it brings people from several, countries, states together on one course to learn with the joint intention of learning and in our case, design thinking, one of the key, courses for us because uh, we are we live in a society which is so well connected that we help each other out. And one of the constructs that we use for helping each other out is design thinking. So I'm very happy that so many of you are interested in this joint mission to make our societies, our neighborhoods, our countries, our continents, world a better place by using design thinking. So on that note, I would definitely, first of all, welcome all of you. And for people who are watching this on YouTube, live or recorded version, thank you so much for signing up for this course. Hopefully you find this useful and informative. We would like to recommend that you take the learnings of this course, you watch Siddharth and Co. do it, or if through my lectures, uh, do apply it into some project, something that you would like to improve, somebody that you want their life to improve, make it better. This would be a great way to get started. So I would highly recommend that you do that. So that's the first thing. Second, like Sham said, what we cover and a lot more examples, exercises, activities, stories are all mentioned in the book because we can't cover it in a course. I thought it's a good idea to document all of that in the book. So that's the bonus you get in the book. Also, it can be used as a field guide. There are places where you can scribble, have notes, because you have to go on the field, interact with customers, and get to know what is it that they bring to the table. So use that, use the book, and write notes down on that. Of course, that's not possible in a Kindle version unless you have the writable Kindle, which is also available, I think. Okay, so those are some of our recommendations. Of course, added to that, I'd like to add some notes to my. So I have this thing, yeah. So what I'm very happy to introduce to you also is the FAQs as we speak. Over the years, people have asked us wonderful questions and we have learned quite a bit. And you could learn from that too. I have documented that on my website and my blog. And this is the URL you can see on the screen. It's balaramudurai.net/series/ADTD. Ask the Design Thinking Doc. Okay, that's a short form of that. It has some of the most important questions that I thought should be covered. And for us to learn. We learned quite a bit. We feel that you could also learn from that. So you can definitely look at this and benefit from it. So these are the few things that I thought we will cover to get started. Of course, this is all about you, your questions on design thinking, on the course videos, on anything else regarding design thinking and the application. We are happy to take this questions here. Like Sham said, well, Sham did say this, but I'm going to say this is we have the third live session. We're going to have 3 live sessions. This is the first one. 2 weeks later, we're going to have the second one. This is all course related, design thinking related, everything to these videos and workshop and all that. Last design thinking live session is going to be in September, just before your exams. So people who are writing, that's about 3,000 odd people of you are writing exams, design thinking exams. So that will be specifically focused on exams. So that is going to be the last live session. This is in September. Okay. These two are primarily focused on the content, something that you're not able to understand, or you have a few thoughts and you want to share that. This is mainly for that. So over to you, Sham. This is what I wanted to cover before we get started with the question and answer sessions.
All right. We'll now be moving on to the question answer session. We'll first take up the question posted by the learners through the G form as well as through the discussion forum.
Okay.
If time permits, we will come back to this uh, set of learners who have joined with us live and then take up their question.
Okay.
Two questions, one from Jyoti Arora and another from Krishnagar. Very similar question. Krishna asked, what is the benefit and the key feature of this course with respect to engineering? And by the way, Krishna is a student and Jyoti is a faculty. Jyoti asked, it's relatively easier for a person thinking on the lines of venturing into entrepreneurship to understand the fundamentals of design thinking, that is DT. How could the same be imparted to the students across varied discipline, not necessarily belonging to STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics?
Great question. This is really important here. I the so I take that. Yeah, you're right, Shyam. It's related. Is that it's engineering people in engineering, students in engineering, or faculty in engineering, or engineers who are trying to apply it. How does this course, design thinking, actually help them? So I'm just rephrasing that question. Or to extrapolate it, what about science and what about mathematics? What about other disciplines also? In fact, I will even extend that and say that how about in law? How about in human resources? How about in marketing? How about in teaching? How about in all these disciplines? How does design thinking apply? It works the exact same way that it applies in each and every single discipline. So the fundamentals are identical. In fact, what we call as industry agnostic or discipline agnostic. That means design thinking is a structured or a process oriented way of thinking. Okay, it's merely helping you guide your thinking, and that can happen in any discipline. So that's the first and foremost. Okay, is that it doesn't matter what discipline you take. the this is a process, economic design thinking or design thinking in general, is a process which helps you streamline your thinking so that you can arrive at, first of all, orient your thinking towards the user or the customer first, and orient yourself towards learning more about what is their situation, how can I help them with prototypes, with products, with services, with solutions. How can I do that? And how can I keep the learning process going? Okay. So this is a very, very generic approach in that respect. It is little to do with the discipline, which is engineering, or which is science, or which is law or human resources. It's more to do with being disciplined about your thinking. Okay. So we start with the first one, which is empathize, which means you orient yourself to who is using a product or a service. Okay. So lawyers provide services, teachers provide services. Okay. Doctors provide services. On the other hand, we build products. So engineers, taking the example of engineers build I don't know, software engineers build an app, okay, a software app, a web app, okay, that's a product. Somebody builds a cup, okay, that's a product, okay. Somebody, let me take some other domain. So take a domain and think of what they produce. That would be the product. If they provide something, that's a service, okay. So whom do they provide this service to? Whom do they give their product to? That becomes your focus. So that's the first part. We empathize with whoever is the user of your product. Okay. So look at that. So this is, again, if you think about it, be it an engineer, be it a lawyer, be it a doctor, whoever is the recipient of my service, whoever is buying my product is identical. It doesn't matter, right? So think about that. Then you say, okay, so they're not going to come and tell you, oh, I have a problem and this is, I want you to solve it like that. Customers are actually most customers are very well behaved in that respect, that they will try to adjust their life if they find value in their product, try to adjust their life to fit your product. Okay. Even if, it's inconvenient, you carry a phone, right? Why do you want to carry a phone in your hand? It's actually quite inconvenient if you think of it. But I see tons of people carrying a phone, right, in their hand, right? Because they've adjusted according to what they want. So they will not come and tell you what the problem is. So now it's as a service provider, teacher, lawyer, doctor, or a product manufacturer, a car manufacturer or a software web developer, their job now becomes to understand what is it that is going on in somebody's life. So how is it that we can help them? That's the question to ask. Okay, then you put yourself in from their point of view and saying, looks like they're holding the cup all wrong. It's burning their fingers. They're not telling me, but I know it's burning their fingers. It's dripping on the sides. It's making a mess at the bottom of the cup like this, right? So it's all making a mess and on the table. Now you know three problems I've already talked about. Burnt the finger, it drips on all sides, and it leaves a mark at the bottom. Excellent. So those are problems to be solved. But you don't take it at face value. You try to analyze and say, why is this happening? Because he's or she is bringing their lips very close to the cup, and it's leaving a mess. Okay. Oh, the handle is such a way that you're not able to hold it very well without touching the hot surface. Okay, you're starting to reason out, and that's the analysis. We're naturally moving to the second part of it. Now, again, if you're a teacher, you can ask, why is this person so distracted? There's an example, I don't know if you've already seen that video. There's an example of a distracted student. So when teacher is providing a service, the student is distracted, her customer. So she thinks, why is this kid distracted? And then realize, oh, okay, things outside of my class are far more interesting to the student than what I'm teaching. Great. Okay, that's a problem statement. Now I analyzed it. Okay, that's what I have to solve. So you generate ideas how to solve the cup burning problem or the teacher, student attention retention problem, and you generate ideas. And if you've seen the solve, I'm not sure if solve videos are out yet, but if they are, you will generate ideas by yourself and using our construct that we cover in class. You can generate ideas. Now, ideas are great if it's in your mind and if you're talking about it to somebody. However, ideas become more useful if they become tangible. You can touch and feel them, or you can see somebody using your service or a product. So now it is to express that in some form that you can touch and feel or interact with. That's the testing part all about. The last portion of it, the testing part is all about trying it out, seeing, okay, does that really solve the burning issue? Does that make the student more attentive? You're starting to quiz that. And then you realize, that didn't work out. Let me see. Maybe I need to sit in class in the position that the student is sitting, or take a hot beverage myself and see if it really hurts or if it really is burning my fingers. So that's when you learn things yourself. That becomes the next iteration. So you start building on next iteration. You learn few more things about the problem, and then the solution arrive. You analyze them, you solve them. Again, you bring improved prototypes. So this is the generic methodology. Like I've covered two examples. Does not really matter whether it's engineering, whether it is science, whether it's law, whether it is teaching, whether you're a medical professional. The the method is absolutely the same. The methodology doesn't change at all. It is to guide you. It's not going to help you. It's going to help you solve the problem. No, it's not going to solve it for you. Okay. So that's what is the benefit of using design thinking on specific problems. Hope that sort of answers this question about whether it really matters which domain it is in.
All right, thanks for that answer. We'll now move on to the next question.
Okay.
Yeah. This question seems to be very simple, but I feel it's a very significant thing to ask.
Yes.
And Maithili asks, how to apply design thinking? I mean, once they have learned it, and how do
Seemingly
we apply it?
seemingly simple question. However, yes, you're right. This is a really critical question. How to apply design thinking? Okay, start simple. Uh, think of somebody whom. So I talk about. I've heard of this model called hedgehog model. Okay, which is TOP: talent, opportunity, passion. Okay, so look at your neighbor, look at some loved ones, or look at your friend, your classmate, your colleague, anybody you think you really care for and you would like to make their life better. It could be a stranger also, but we're starting simple. Okay. So think of somebody in your vicinity and you really want to help them. So, and you see that, oh, they're waiting for such a long time, or they're taking such a long time to do simple things like order food on a phone. Okay, you really feel for them. Let's say there's an elderly gentleman who's your neighbor, and you see them struggle with the phone trying to figure out how to order food, which you so easily do, right? Then you say, I'm feeling really passionate about it. So I want to help this person. This is the opportunity. There is an opportunity. The person is taking a long time, and you see the opportunity. You have the passion. You really want to help this elderly gentleman with the app. Okay, so you really want to do that. And here comes the talent part, which is, I'm a web developer. I'm an app developer. In this case, I'm an app developer. I know how these things work. Maybe I could help him. Okay, so when these three things come together, you can get started. Okay, you can't work on I don't know any. I don't know the first. I know how to eat a pizza, but I don't know how to make it. So I can't start with, okay, I'm going to make better pizzas. No, I don't have any skill. The talent is zero, right? So I can't possibly help a person, or a pilot. Let's go even extreme, right? So I see a person in the cockpit of an aircraft, flying the plane. I said, oh, I'm feeling, passionate about helping the pilot. Great. But do you have any skills to help them out? Oh, I don't know. So talent is zero. Passion may be there. You feel for the pilot, but the opportunity may be there. Maybe you can make the life better, but you have zero talent in trying to help them out. So check whether you have the talent, the skills, the necessary skills to help that person out. One, is there an opportunity at all? Okay, maybe they don't want your help. Maybe there's no opportunity there. And do you feel passionate about it? Because without passion, it becomes a project that you just execute after a while, because this is a long stay. You have to do it for a longer time. You need the passion to sustain you through the project. So this is going to be tricky if you don't really feel from inside that you really, really want to make a difference in their lives. Okay. That's what keeps the passion, keeps the project going, moving along, even after the novelty factor dies down. In the first few days, months, weeks, maybe the novelty factor carries you along, that, oh, I'm doing a new project. But after that, when it wanes off, it's the passion that carries you on. Okay. It's not talent. It's not the opportunity. It's the passion which carries you on. So these three together will make sure that you get started. Once you get started, design thinking methodology will help you, right? So you look at them and say, what's going on in their life? What does their journey look like? So you visualize their journey as they use the product. So in our case, the elderly gentleman is walking through an app. So you say, okay, he pulls the phone out of his pocket, or it was on the charging, pedestal or in the charging point. He takes it out and then opens the app and then looks through the menu. You can describe what their journey looks like and see where all do they struggle. Okay, there could be some specific points that they're really struggling to understand. Maybe the font size is too small. That comes in the analysis now. So once you know the problems in analysis, you say, oh, the font is way too small. The colors are all wrong. Okay. The options are just too many for him to choose from. Great. These are great analysis. Then now think of what ideas you could get. Moving into solve. And then you say, okay, I'm going to build a completely fresh food delivery app from scratch. I'm going to design it from scratch because you're an app developer. You can do that. And I'm going to help this gentleman. Specifically with this gentleman in mind, I'm going to do this. Of course, it's a market of one, as I call it. Then see who else needs that. And then the learning starts. You can take it to them and say, hey, sir, uncle, can you try this app out? I have this is a prototype, warning, but I just want to see if it really helps you out. Okay. Go to another lady, perhaps an elderly lady, and see if she has the same problem and her life gets better. You learn from that. Go to the next iteration. And now you've started applying. Okay, I gave an app example, but replace it with whatever you're passionate about. Maybe it's you want to teach somebody. Maybe it is I don't know, whatever you do at work, right? So maybe recruiting somebody. Okay, think about those examples and see how it applies to you and start applying straight away. That's one of the best ways. And as the course progresses, at the end of every week, you can do that part of it and see what you've learned. And then you started applying, really applying. Okay. This is how we learned. Nothing magical. We've learned so many skills, right? It's the same story. Keep applying and learning, and that's how we learn. If you need any help at all, absolutely any help, use the discussion forum, shoot out a question saying, I tried this didn't work, I don't know how to proceed. We'll be there to help you out. Okay. Or you can shoot out an email, or I'm on LinkedIn. You can connect with me and write out saying, I tried this, but it's not helping me out. Can you sort of pitch in? Definitely. We'll be more than happy to do that. Okay. At the end of this session, I can leave my email address with you, and you can write to me how you're applying it and where you need my help. I'll be more than happy to help you.
Thank you, sir,
Yes,
for
sir.
answering that question. I think this question has been partially answered in your previous response. But
Okay.
anyway, I'll read out the question. This is from Aniket. He asks, What are some common challenges organizations or person face when implementing design thinking, and how can they overcome them?
Okay. Yes, true. It's to some extent I did answer it in the previous question, but however, I'll treat this as a fresh question. Um, One of the key challenges I think is that we only think about ourselves as the customer, right? So we think that what I'm going through, what I see, is what the other person also sees. And that's a big assumption you make. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Okay. So one of the key challenges is to overcome this and say that this is another person. Remember my the from the other planet, right? So Arcturus 4, these Methanians, they're completely different species. They breathe something else. They look like something else. This is a story with other people. They are different. Everybody is different, right? It's a strange that our species, apparently it takes 170 odd billion people when they're born for genetic combinations are so many that after that is when you create another individual which is like you. Okay, so we are so dissimilar in many ways. Sorry. I'll just be back. So given so many dissimilarities, we shouldn't assume that they are like exactly like me. No matter what part of the globe they are, we just assume that they are like me. That's one of the challenges I think that one has to overcome. Second challenge. These are all things that I've gone through myself, so it's nothing new under the sun. The second challenge we faced is um, what they call the challenge of the expert, right? So you've used some product so many times that you know in and out of the product. And so you again assume that the customers also are equally knowledgeable. In 9 out of 10 cases, that's not true. Okay. In that one case where maybe there's an expert user, that may be true. Maybe again. Okay. They may not know what all you know about the product or service. So curse of knowledge or some they call it like that, right? So that's a big challenge according to me is to uh, drop all that what you know about the product or service and look at it from another person's point of view. That is one of the key challenges, I think. A second key challenge according to me is how do you not think about yourself, your own experiences, and focus entirely on the other person's experience. So that can be a challenge. One easy way to sort of circumvent that is to like that example I showcased. This person who strapped a video camera on their temple on their head and went through the emergency room procedure themselves, right? So and then play the video as if they're watching someone else's experience. So that's an interesting quirky way, but there's an interesting way to look at experiences from someone else's point of view. The third, and this is a common challenge that I've had, and I've seen some of my students and people that I work with in companies also go through this, is when you see the problem, you already made up your mind that this is the solution that's going to work and change the entire world. Okay, this is a big challenge. The third one. Okay, why? Because you're so sure that this is the problem, you're so sure that this is the solution. It's very difficult to step out and say, this is a learning process. I'm learning about the customer, I'm learning about what the problem is, and the solution keeps evolving. This, according to me, is a critical challenge that needs to be overcome. One of the easiest ways, empty the teacup. Very, very simple way is to just write down that idea and then revisit it later. Okay. That way you've taken out that idea and put it, you're not obsessed about only that idea and leaves room for other ideas to originate. So yes, there is an easy way out. However, the acceptance and acknowledgement that yes, I am obsessed about that idea and I think this is the best idea, that needs to be sort of kept in the side and say, okay, I'm going to focus on what the exact problem is. I don't know what the problem is. Tell yourself that, and that challenge becomes easier. So hopefully these three challenges that I've identified are something that you see, and you can easily overcome these by adopting a few tips and tricks that we used in the course. Yes, Sean, I'm done with that.
All right. This one is very interesting. Can be given as a project to the
Oh,
student who
yes.
has asked the question.
Yes, absolutely.
The question is, do you have an app to make the entire experience seamless? If not, please use Teams or Google Classroom. I think this is a suggestion to the course portal that the students are using to use the NPTEL, access the NPTEL courses. But
Absolutely.
yeah, your take on this, sir.
Nice one, Shyam. You already answered part of this. Absolutely. Any experience can be improved, can be made seamless, can be made pleasurable, can be made fun, can be made useful, informative. All that can be done. Okay. Mohammad Adnan Syed C. Why don't you take it up and tell us how it is it that you're going to do this with a prototype at the end of it? So you do the empathize, you do the analyze, you do the solve, you do the test, build a prototype and bring it to us. We'll be more than happy to make the connection to NPTEL and tell them that, hey, look, this is a very, very good seamless experience. The entire experience of the classroom, it looks like this. Why don't you consider this? We'd be happy to take that message across. Okay. Now, that being said, the philosophy behind it is be the change you want to see, right? So, usually attributed to Mahatma Gandhi. Um, when you feel so passionate about, oh man, this experience is driving me mad. I want to make a change. Okay, you think about that, and if you have the talent, go ahead and make a prototype. And these days making an app is a lot easier than it used to be. There is large language models to help you out. There are platforms that make you don't even need to know coding. You can just drag and drop and make meaningful apps, and you can start there. You can start very small. Many of our students have actually done that, and you should go ahead and do that too. I'm not chucking away from the fact that this experience can be made better. Believe me, the NPTEL team is working really, really hard to make your experience way better. And it is way better than what I remember seeing 5 years ago. There's always room for improvement, and do go ahead and make that prototype. And we are happy to make the connection. And let's see, things get serious. We can even swap whatever is existing with your improved product. Why not? That's my trial at answering that.
All right, sir. I think we can now open this meeting for open question and answer session. We are done with the questions that are posted on the discussion forum as well as through the G form.
Okay, awesome. So we'll be more than happy to take your questions here. If you have any questions, just to keep things simple, raise your hand, and once we say yes, just unmute and let us know, and we'll be happy to hear your voice. Or if it's too noisy and you don't want to unmute, just type your question and we can read. I see one question, Shyam, in the chat. What type of questions will come in the exam of design thinking? I mean, subjective or objective? Yes, Shyam, do you want to take it?
Yes. Before that, I would like to announce that we will have an exclusive live session for all these exam-related question, which is live session 3. You will be getting information from the NPTEL team regarding that. To answer this particular question, yes, it will have only objective type multiple choice questions, either multi-select or multiple option with one right option. More details will be discussed in the third live session.
All right. Okay, there actually I'm just looking through the YouTube chat. Um, there seems to be a question. Please, can I ask one question on probability distribution containing tossing of a coin? Okay, that we are not going to take this totally out of scope. What will be coming in the exam? Please do. Sham just answered that question. We'll have an exclusive live session on exams and what is in there. That's going to be the answer to that. Anything about the exam? So many people are concerned about the exam. I understand. You exams for the 3,000 odd people who are taking the exam is going to be important. Yes, and we do recognize that. So we will take it in the live session. Don't worry, you are in good hands. So we will definitely help you out. There is another question. Can you list some books on design thinking? The answer to that is, Sham just shared the link on YouTube. I'm sorry, Zoom chat. I will share that on the YouTube chat as well. This has the list. So the ask the DTD doc, I'm sorry, ask the design thinking doc blog series also has uh, a list of books recommended. Uh, and as well as the other frequently asked questions. So you can take a look at this. What are the books that are recommended? The textbook for our course is right here. You can see Karmic Design Thinking. That's going to be the textbook. And for other reference books, that's there in the link. Just check it out. That's the answer to that question. I see a hand
Yeah.
raised. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Sir, I am an educator, and while discussing with students how design thinking can be helpful in various disciplines, I have also faced a similar crunch wherein entrepreneurs can relate to what design thinking is, or someone who's aspiring to opt for entrepreneurship. But when it comes to, so I had a student who is into psychology, and so she was like, how do I relate to design thinking, how I can implement in the ways. At times it becomes very difficult for me to convey that message. So, how would you like to, interact with those kind of students?
Okay. So, a great question, by the way, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing that. Uh, so, my response to that is uh, one of the easiest ways for us to learn is look at case studies. So internet has a lot of case studies on several domains. So now it is very difficult for you to find out in their specific domain unless you have the training. I'm not a psychologist. I don't have any training in psychology. So I cannot give specific examples related to psychology. However, if you want to help your student, you can say that type in the domain or the cases in the domain and design thinking case studies. Several people have documented case studies on how they have applied design thinking in their particular domain. So this I've seen in finance, in procurement, in law, in cooking. You name it. It's not only tech. People assume it's only for technology. Technologies assume it's only for management. It's not. It can actually go across. It's a simplified, not simple, but it's a simplified way of thinking about. So if it's a psychologist, very lame. I'm not a trained psychologist. Don't take my answer for verbatim. But I would say if you're interacting with somebody and you want to help them out, so how do you classify them? How would you look at it from their perspective? They're receiving help on site. Say, let's say, I don't know what they learn in psychology. Let's say human relations. Okay, let's say human relations, and you're trying to improve that. So first, find out whose relationship are we talking about. So that would be the empathize. And then if there are problems in these relationships, what are they? What kind are they? That would be analyze. And then see if you can come up with some ideas to improve the relationship. That would be the solve. And see if you can build a small role play. Assume that I am the patient, you're the consultant, and are you able to improve the understanding of the relationship totally in a role play environment? That will be the prototyping. So that's the testing part of it. And if you see value to that, why don't you propose this to a real patient? So this could start off very, very simple like that. Walk them through simple examples like this, and make them come up with, oh, no, I was talking about this. Then it gives you an idea saying, okay, they are not probably thinking about this, but this. So it's a design thinking for you as well, saying, okay, what do they really mean by I don't understand design thinking? That's two-way. Now you're trying to focus on, okay, this practical aspect of whom do I talk to? They don't understand. Okay, got it. So now you think of whom they are trying to help. So I interact with the MBA crowd as much I interact with the technology crowd as much I interact with educators like yourselves. So the language, the parlance, the examples I give vary, but the methodology is identical. So you're right. So how do I even start to explain things like that? So it's going to take some time for you to explain, but it's worth the effort. That okay, now I know how to address psychology. Next time a psychology student comes up, you know how, oh, that example. You can do that straight away. I don't know if that helped you, ma'am.
Yeah, it did. It did. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Very, very interesting. Okay, there's something on YouTube chat. It says,
The
I'm
related.
learning in Hindi. Can you help with it? I'm going to be very, very frank. I don't think I can explain any of the concepts in Hindi. My Hindi is probably good enough to order at a restaurant. That's pretty much my level of Hindi. So pardon me. I'm so sorry that I can't help in Hindi. However, we do take that feedback and we will work on that. We've had several requests in the past which said, can you speak in X language? Can you speak in Y language and explain this? Apologies, but we will try our best to improve our offering as well. Shyam and I did think about offering the course in Tamil because both of us speak Tamil, but that's still a long way. How do you take these concepts, the technical terms, how do you actually translate that and still not sound like some, jargon-filled lecture, but useful to you. So thanks for the feedback. We will definitely look at it. But I have technical limitations, so which is why we don't offer it in other languages.
I think the alternate would be to access the transcripts that are available on
Okay.
NPTEL website. It's
Okay.
translated in 8 languages, the same course,
Yes.
including Hindi. If possible, I can drop the link here in this chat. Let me check if it is available or not.
That's a good suggestion, Shyam.
Yes, it is there.
This is available in 8 languages and not just auto translate, but has been verified by authentic translators. NPTEL team does make sure that these translations are good. If you find that some of these translations are not up to the mark, a few things are missing, please do let us know. We will take the feedback back to NPTEL. They love such feedback from learners like you. They take it very seriously. So we will work on it. If it's not up to if it's up to the mark and you think it's good, great, use it. If like Sham said, it's translated in 8 languages.
Yes.
I see a
Krishna
hand
Garg
up. Krishna Garg. Yes, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Actually, sir, I have question like, how can we apply design thinking in non-design field like healthcare, education, and etc. like this?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Krishna, in the interest of not repeating what I already said, because in the first part of this live session, I talked about all these three examples. Coincidentally, healthcare and education is some examples I did mention. We did talk about it. So do take a look at the recording of this live session. And I think you should get a link of the YouTube video that gets recorded. The short answer is it's very, very similar. It's just a way of thinking about the customer or the user, person who's the recipient of the service or buys the product or gets the uses the product. Their perspective, that's empathize, and you apply your mind and see what the problems are. That's analyze. Then you say, okay, I'm going to generate some ideas that solve, and you build a new way of providing the service or adding a new feature to the service or a new feature to the product that becomes the part of the prototype. So healthcare, you can put yourself in the shoes of a patient or a health care provider. The methodology is identical. So you put yourself, you can walk that path and see how to help them out. So I would definitely recommend that you take a look at the first part of this video. I have answered this in great detail.
For
So,
sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
thanks anyway for the question. Thanks a lot. That is meaningful for us. Thank you.
Okay, very similar questions in the chat, in the YouTube chat.
Okay.
Application of design thinking in MBA, fashion management, in humanities, and even supply chain.
Okay. Okay.
All this has been answered. Learners, any other questions if you would like to ask directly to the professor, you may unmute and ask or type it in the chat here.
Since there is so much talk about medical care and healthcare, I would recommend that you look at how GE Healthcare redesigned the experience of MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. MRI is or CAT scans. They actually redesigned the whole experience for children. Okay, children are terrified to go through this. So how do you make that experience better? So look up GE, General Electric, MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, MRI or CAT scan, and you will find a great example of how design thinking was applied and how they got a wonderful solution out of that. So my recommendation to you. Unfortunately, I have to look up and do that, but you guys are also good at finding information. You can go to YouTube and find this video. Or it's on my channel. I think I have a YouTube channel. You can look at it. Look me up and look at it also. Ma'am has her hand up. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, it's a different question. Like how, apart from the MCQ test, we have to do a case study for submission. I
Really?
suppose.
No. We don't have any such requirement.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That will be based on the final examination itself.
Yes, the entire exam is going to be multiple choice questions, and so there is no case submission or any such thing. So in our course, at least, that's not mandatory.
Okay.
But however, I would recommend that you go ahead and do the project anyway, whether we ask for it or not. That's the best way to learn. So I would highly recommend you do a project using the principles. Even though we don't look at it for your certification, we do that. So that leads me to naturally to the next part of what happens after the course. I think there was a question. No, I don't know if there is a question, but this is also another often asked question saying, what after this course? So you can join our workshop. The dates we will announce, and that way you will have practical hands-on experience. It will be an online workshop. However, you can do wonderful things even on online mode, which is what we are doing right now. So you can do a workshop with us, and that's going to be a follow-up of this course. So that could be something that can be, a result of what happens after the course. Yes, Shantanu Sharma sir, please.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, my question is that you have told us the fourth life truth of Buddha.
Okay.
What is the difference between Nirodha and Marga? Because if there is an end of any problem, then what is the need of Marga?
Okay. Interesting. So it is the essence, and as we translate it to product and services, it is like saying I'm going to generate ideas to end the suffering. For sure, I will think of ways to end the suffering, to use what Buddha talked about. But I'm not going to take any more steps after that. I'm going to stay put where we are. I'm not going to follow any path. Okay, so we're just going to stop with ideation. So if we have a lot of ideas, but we don't do, so let's say I have an idea that will make a teacher's life better. I will provide a smart classroom where everybody is focusing on the teacher. I will do all of that. Now, is it really there? No, I've not put myself on the path to end their suffering once and for all. So which means it's in my head, it's there, but it hasn't materialized yet. So my interpretation of Marga is the fact that you're taking the idea and taking a positive step towards making your customer's life better. In this case, in my example, the teacher's life better. So I'm going to make something, I'm going to do something and set myself on the path to end the customer's suffering once and for all. That's my objective. And that's the Marga I have taken up. So that's my interpretation of the fourth step. So Nirodha is only in the mind, Marga is in practice. You're actually putting it in practice. This is my interpretation, by the way. Okay, so I'm not claiming that that's what Lord Buddha had in mind when he said that. But when we translate it to user requirements and how we satisfy it, that's the Marga for us. Thank you for your question. I hope
Okay,
that
sir, thank
answers
you.
I hope that answers your question.
All right. I think this would be a good time to address this also.
Yes.
So to get a certificate in this course, I have seen many comments in the YouTube section, and a learner here also asked
Okay.
the average assignment score. There are 4 assignments, and the NPTEL would be taking best of 4 assignments, best 3 of the 4 assignments, and the weightage given to it will be 25%. And there will be an in-person proctored examination conducted at various centers across India once you have registered for the exam, which will contribute to 75% of the total score. And the final score would be the sum of average assignment score as well as the end examination score. And the point here is the average assignment score should be greater than or equal to 10 out of 25. And the exam score, which would be conducted for 40 marks or 50 marks, when converted to 75, it should be greater than or equal to 30. And if either of these criteria is not met, the certificate may not be issued by the NPTEL team, even if the score is greater than or equal to 40 out of 100. So this is the certification criteria followed in this course, and the same details are posted on the course portal as well as on the course page for your reference. And
Okay, I see one question here, Shyam, is wait, I just saw it. Yes. How does this course address the challenges of fostering a culture of innovation within a team or organization? Okay, so in an organization, in any organization, it could be an academic organization, colleges, universities, it could be a for-profit enterprise like large companies, small companies. When you say culture of innovation, okay, which means that everybody is thinking, how do I and totally in an inspired way, how do I make this big difference or in the product and services that we offer? In a college or university, it's courses that are offered or students that we enroll. In a large company, it could be the products and services that we build for customers or for ourselves or for our clients. How do we enrich that? So culture of innovation is about thinking about everybody has that freedom to think about how do I enhance this product. That's one. Two is they have the freedom to actually go ahead and suggest changes. Okay. And three, they have the freedom to also work on changes that can be brought about in a product or a service. Okay. Whether again, it's academic, large organization, small organization, doesn't matter. Okay. So this, according to me, is the culture of innovation, where you have the freedom to think about what to freedom meaning time wise. You're always strapped with day-to-day stuff. That's great for short term, but in the long term you will lose out because you're not thinking about a midterm, or long term you lose out because you're not thinking about the next steps. Okay, that's freedom to think, freedom to suggest that, hey, there is a change that needs to be done, I would like to propose that change, and freedom to actually do something about it, and you are working on it. That's the third part. Now, design thinking is, if you are in, say, human resources in an organization, then you're thinking about, or your innovation management group, then you can think about what is it that I can do to enable this. Okay, first of all, you have to look at this person and say, oh, he doesn't have or she doesn't have freedom to even think, because we are giving them so many tasks that they're totally flooded with this, that they're not able to think anything apart from this. How are they going to look at innovation in the long-term future or the mid-term future when their current itself is so busy? They're busy, running from pole to pillar to put out fires all day long and all week long and all month long. It's going to be difficult. So you need to think about their perspective. So suddenly, oh, I'm going to train them. So you're pulling them out of this firefighting to do this. What is going to happen? So think about that. So designing will really help you with that part. Second is to even think about changes. They need to have the experience. Where is the money coming from for the organization? How is it being used? How are we generating revenue? All that, big chain is something you need to think about. Okay. So that's the second part, is how are they even able to think about this? What can I do to help them out to think about this larger scope in an organization? Third is to actually work on the changes. So it means you're giving them the tools to not only think, but also to do something about the products and services. Some people have policies like, oh, 80% you can work on traditional projects and 20% you can work on anything you want, for example. Okay, so that's a great idea. That 20% frees them to think about whatever they want, and they can do things also. They're not just thinking, they're doing it also. So these three places, when you do it consistently, you're thinking about that. That's design thinking at work for the culture of the organization. Okay. So then you can have innovation contests, you can have, what do you call it, fun Fridays with several topics being discussed, whatnots, all sorts of ideas come in, and you can implement that and see it work. So these are some things that will really help you, improve the innovation culture in an organization. This has worked for very, very innovative. If you look at any innovative organization, when I say innovative organization, the few names pop in your head, they're probably doing many of these things right and very well. So that's my contention. Hopefully that answered your question. This is on YouTube. I don't know who asked this question. Very, very interesting question. Okay.
We have 1 minute left. If anyone wants to ask any other question, please put it in the chat, or if time is a problem, you may post it in the discussion forum in the course portal. we would be taking it up in the next live session, or we'll answer it in the discussion forum itself.
Just take a look at the last 3 questions in YouTube chat, Shyam, and we'll take it in the next session. Mahesh
Okay.
M, Biku, and Bharat HR, they've asked some questions. So we
Okay.
can take it up in the next session. Uh, Here is us thanking each one of you on this Zoom meeting, as well as people who are on YouTube are very active. Thank you so much for registering for the course and being in this live session, and people who are watching the recording also, thank you to you. And thanks, Shyam, for arranging this whole thing very well. Thanks a lot, and thanks to the NPTEL for putting this together. I will see you. We will see you next time. Due date, was it? Oh, very nice. Okay, reminder that there was a due date for first and second assignments, August 7th. Very responsible of you, Shyam. Okay, this is what so please don't ignore, just attempt something, save and submit. Both are equally important. Don't just leave it at save. Keep submitting it, that's fine. I've taken this course myself, as a learner, I know the in and out. So from your perspective as well. So do submit it, just don't save it alone. And that will make sure we get it. And then the next live session is on August 16th, day after our Independence Day celebration. Friday, well, it's not at 11:59 p.m. Hopefully not.
Oh, okay.
I'll be
Okay.
fast asleep.
I will
Way
let it
beyond my bedtime.
5:30 to 6:30.
Yes, 5:30, same time, 5:30 to 6:30 India time is when we are going to have our session. And thank you so much, everyone. Maybe I'll wait for Shyam to fix that and show that the slide again. Shyam has a good sense of humor. He wants me to be awake at 11:59 India time. Sure, keep dreaming. Okay, there you go. 5:30 to 6:30 IST, August 16, 2024 is our next live session, Friday. So see you, all of you, and more of you during that time and for more interesting questions. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Here's us wishing you a great evening and a great weekend as well. See you next time. Bye, everyone. Bye, Shyam.
Thank you, sir. Bye.